Welcome back to Unraveled Beer Thoughts. And today I have another beer that I got on Tabor. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't get this beer because I was excited about the brewing company. It's from the Moore Brewing Company. I really got it because it was called Razzimus Prime. And I thought, that's a cool name. Now, it was a fruited raspberry sour, so I thought that sounded reasonably delicious, but really I thought the name was kind of cool, and I just wanted to grab one. And so, let's see how this tastes. I think in the near future I might start adding doing the different beer profile. What do you call it? The aroma. There's like the five or six categories of rating a beer, and I'll try to number those more appropriately because I think that will, I don't know, it feels a little more official if I do it that way. But I'm not doing it this time, I don't think, because I just sat down with this beer and I gotta sort of look at those categories and process a little bit more. However, I'll do my best with what I know off the top of my head. Now, this poured fairly thick, kind of fizzy. Honestly, a little more fizzy than I was expecting it would be for a fruited sour. So that's really interesting. Definitely evokes sort of okay, that's fruit. It definitely has a berry note to it. It's hard to say what berry just pouring it, but fizzy brings out that Razzimus feel. I wonder if that's why they came up with that a little bit, but that's cool. So, all right, really raspberry on the front end aroma, pretty interesting. Yeah, I definitely, I definitely get the fruit on it. I probably give aroma. Um, I give it a four. Probably give it a four. Solid four on aroma. All right. So look wise, now it says fruited sour ale. So from as far as pouring it and looking at it and seeing that thick and almost pulpy bits coming out, I think there's more bits in the can. So I think that the kind of the second glass will be more pulpy than the first. But I'm excited about that. I like seeing that. I could see sort of two companies possibly in this where some might want a really clean filtered um, fruit ale, but I could go either way. Honestly, it doesn't matter if it's pulpy or if it's clean and filtered. I'm really looking for some good flavor, some good aroma, some good, just a good experience with it. And either side of that, it could go either way. This one's pulpy, so I'd probably give it I give it a four, maybe a 4.5 on the look, because it looks like it's gonna be a good, juicy, enjoyable treat, like a smoothie beer kind of here. So the flavor is a little bit empty for me. Um, I'm probably going like it's not it's not bad flavor. We're gonna say baseline's 2.5 at least because it's not wrong. Excuse me. It's not a I'd say off-putting flavor. 2.5 and below, that's off-putting for something. Off-putting aroma, off-putting flavor, off-putting overall, whatever. I wouldn't put it that way. But there is something kind of for how it looks, for that smell. It is not packing as potent a punch as I thought it would. I was expecting a little bit more flavor to come through. Now, I don't know. Um, I wonder, given the fizz, if they kind of were going for something that was a little more subtle in taste because they They let the sugar turn into a little bit more I want to say carbohydrate, but that's not right. Carbonation to get that fizz. And I don't know if that's what they were trying to do, or maybe they put a little sugar on the top to get it, let it ferment in the can, or if they let some of that happen in the keg. It's hard to say, but it just lacks it lacks a tad of flavor that I wish it had. Now, I think it's got berry flavor. I think I would like a little bit more. It might be sweetness, which is interesting because I don't really like sweet beers. Although the fruited beers, I look for a little bit more sugar, and it could be that this has sat maybe long enough that it is more sweet if it drank earlier, and perhaps some of the sugar was eaten through. And I wonder if I drank a fresh one of these that wasn't that was brewed more recently, and I'm looking to see if there's a brew date on the can. Sometimes you can find one. I don't see a date on this one. Yeah, so I don't know what the date was, but that is a possibility. So it could be just slightly older, and maybe I'm missing its prime drinkable date. If that was the case, I'd probably maybe bump it up to like it's still probably overall. I'd probably put this at like a 3.5. And even though in its current state, I'm probably saying more like a 3.25, I'd probably bump it to a 3.5 because I would love to try to get one of these fresh. And I wonder, would it be better fresh? And that puts it in the category of I might go look for this beer if I was in an area that produced it. And I don't know where the Moore Brewing Company is. It's in Illinois. So if I was in Illinois, I would consider looking for this. I would try to find it and see if I could get a fresh one, or maybe even find the brewery and try to get like real fresh from the brewery if they were making it still. That puts it a little bit higher score for me because if it's a beer I really would like to find and get any I mean if it's outright I want to get it, it's definitely a high score. But I'll probably put this at 3.5 because if I got one fresh and it had that more potent berry flavor coming through that matches the look and aroma, then this becomes like a 4 or a 4.25 for me. I would look for this beer down the road, just being mindful that the fresh one is definitely much better than anything else. But yeah, this is I'm going to give it an overall right now. I'm going to give this an overall 3.75. Feel like it's good, it's drinkable. This is going to be very pleasant to finish this beer. I'm looking forward to it, and I would consider grabbing another one of these down the road if I'm putting another table crate together. This is not bad, and I think for someone that doesn't want to be punched in the face with fruit, they just want maybe a little bit of fruit. This might be a good offering. This might be a good thing to present to somebody who's looking for not that full out pulpy smoothie beer experience, but something that's a little tamer than other things I've had out there that I really like. But I'm thinking like Trillium, their berry, I can't remember what it's called, but there's a Trillium berry beer that I've had. I think I've done a video on it in the past at some point. And those are real pulpy, but they are so good. They're so smooth. Those are some of the best. They're like 4.5s in my book because I will hunt those down anytime I can get them. So this isn't quite as everything I'm looking for in those kind of beers, but I think introducing somebody, this would be totally okay. Thank you for joining Unraveled Beer Thoughts today. If you have comments, if you've had this beer before, if you had another beer like this beer, or if there's some beer you're like, man, I wish you would taste this one and tell me what you think of that because it sounds like this, put it in the comments. I'll read it. I'd love to take a look. I'm in Texas, so I can only hunt what is here, and if it's available on Tabor, I might be able to grab it at some point, but I only get those crates kind of like I'd say once to twice a year, and I'm usually otherwise getting stuff in the local community and hunting the stuff down on my trips and things like that. But I'm Wade, and thanks for joining Unraveled Beer Thoughts.